Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Rollplay Far Verona. I'm your Space Master, Adam Cole, and we seem to have broken Vana on the way in. Are you doing okay over
that,
there?
Right? Nobody mentioned
no,
that,
nobody
right?
mentioned it.
I've
seen it 3 or 4 times. So what Vana is reacting to is that the new intro has animations from the beginning of season 2 of Far Verona, and I guess Vana, you hadn't seen your character in that yet, and so.
No, I didn't.
Exciting.
I was just like, as soon as I saw the burning of the fields, I was like, wait, hold on. That's so cool. Oh man, it looks so great.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Hey, I've seen it so many times now that I forgot that we've been working on it for a while, and so a lot of people are seeing it for the first time. So yeah, if you haven't seen the new intro, definitely check it out. It's got some cool new stuff in it. Also, I'm really happy. Look, everybody's still alive. Nobody has expired in this time of plague. Thank you for keeping healthy, everybody. Except Vana, you're always sick. But Mark, you did a little hand wave here. You okay over there, bud?
Oh no, I don't know. It's that thing of, am I getting sick or am I just think I'm getting sick? Like, I don't know, because we're like in total isolation at the moment as well. Like, everybody I know is trying to work from home, and so I've not really left the house apart from to get groceries in like days, and I'm starting to just kind of wonder what is, who am, why.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
good.
losing touch with reality.
Sure. Yeah. So, hopefully I'll be all right.
Yes, hopefully you will. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and I'm sure this is true for just about everybody here, but that feeling of like everybody kind of adapting to working at home, and we're all just kind of like, that's what it's like.
I've been adapting since last year. It's pretty great, actually.
Yeah,
I've gotten more done in the last week because everyone else has to work from home. So like everyone canceled all these meetings this week, which meant that like because they're like my laptop doesn't work on VPN, and everyone's dealing with bullshit. Here's me just in my basement, like working away, but
business as usual.
Yeah.
Did I see you were on Scoot's Do Not Peek thing this week, right?
I was
this last week past, yeah.
It was good. I did a lot of hours of shows with Scoots, so just that, it would be, it's like doing a show with JP. It's like I've done so many shows with you. It's just like natural, and it's always fun, and it's just so. It was good. It was good. And then I have, to kind of keep on the sickliness. Like I basically suspended all my gaming streams and have just been doing like COVID-19 call-in streams, which is actually been fucking incredible because I could sit here in the US and I can like try to read as much from a media perspective or whatever, but hearing people from Vietnam, from Italy, from Germany, and the things that they're experiencing and the things that are on their news that might not necessarily be on our news. And we had one guy call in whose father worked for and I forget the name of the company, but the company that basically builds the machines that can test this, and gave a really awesome explanation for like why we in the US can't test the same way that like South Korea and even some other countries that have like had way more advanced testing than us. So it's been pretty awesome. Like it feels good to use the power of the platform for something like that to get a global perspective on something that right now, if you're just like watching the news, you're just you're getting it, but you're getting it from a media perspective. So it's been really interesting. But like this weekend, I am just trying to like not be thinking about that shit at all. Like they mini wheat's out of school until the 24th, and I'm like, man, even doing 3 days of that last week, I'm like, I just need to just be fucking a worthless blob and just let entertainment, and the world knows that too, because Disney Plus released Frozen 2 3 months early because everyone's stuck in their house. So, they get it.
It is interesting watching, like, there's all this quarantine going on and people working from home and stuff. And then it's fun watching everything else move around it and trying to like figure why that's happening. Like how Mulan is delayed, right? And it's not like it's because the movie isn't going to, like, it's not like it's not done or anything. It's just they think no one's going to go see it. So they're like, that's fine. We'll just hold on to it until you're all feeling better. And then we'll release it. Like it's shifting so many little things in weird ways you wouldn't expect, which is, yeah, I think that's what's got people feeling like anxious and weird about it. They're like, cool. Well, what else? I know that there are people freaking out about conventions already in the summer, right? People are like, well, if things are getting canceled now, what about, Gen Con or like things that are in August now? So
I feel the worst
nice
for
this
those,
kind of even
right? Because like right, like it makes a lot of sense. Anything that's happening in the next 2 months, right? Like, yeah, we need to put the brakes on. But like, I feel terrible, especially having just worked on TwitchCon Amsterdam, only to have it canceled. Like, I feel terrible for those folks that are like working on it, but are like it just might not have. It's the worst fucking feeling in the world. So my heart goes out to all those folks.
Yeah, right. And it's like, at what point are we going to start seeing that ease off? But yeah, it's going to be a lot of people at home playing video games. I have all of my friends are asking like, oh, are your numbers like spiking like crazy because people are just at home? And I'm like, well, they're at home trying to live their life. If anything, they should not be watching the stream and they should be doing their job so they don't get fired. Though I guess what's the majority of people that watch Twitch streams from work anyway? Like might not actually be all that different.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But you're holding it together over there, Mark. Everything's okay in the Jelly UK. What have you been up to these last few weeks besides your not knowing what time it is at any given moment?
I had my very first viral tweet. Yay!
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah,
did you tell everybody about your SoundCloud?
I did. I made a post. I didn't do a SoundCloud, but I did do. This is my very first ever. Well, this blew up tweet, and I was very excited about it. And that's literally the highlight of my week so far. The rest of it, I've been in the cave writing.
Yeah, I got. I'm trying to look right now.
What was the tweet?
It was. I was in a burger restaurant after the gym, and I just had a funny idea of. It was one of those self-isolation, boring, clinical. What the government tells you to do. Go back to the shadow. Exciting. Implies you're a Balrog of Morgoth. Something a cooler wizard tells you to do. It was one of those meme kind of like posts.
Good.
And it just went fucking nuts.
When was this?
It was like, oh, is it not showing up? I do tweet a lot.
The only thing better than a viral tweet is having someone explain and read to you a viral tweet.
I was excited about it.
That's even better and funnier.
My first one.
You know what? I'm not trying to take away from your success. It's a good tweet.
I replied look at that. I wrote a funny thing, and people liked it.
Yeah.
I like it. Hang on.
So, how is your newfound fame? Is it good? Have you
great?
been
amazing.
Leveraging it? Yeah. Good.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely.
I got you, Mark. I got you.
You got me. Thanks, Vana.
Thank you. I can't.
No, apart from that, I've honestly just been like my fiance is currently away, so I'm just in the house working on writing projects, and the world falls apart around us. The UK is like in particularly bad way with the COVID stuff, just because our idiot of a prime minister was just like, it's fine, people will just die. It's fine. And then it's all like 180'd, and now everyone's panic buying everything, and yeah, it's just a mess.
Is that what he sounds like? It's fine. Everyone will
Boris,
die.
yeah, Boris. No, hang on. Boris Johnson is more like, well, it's absolutely fine. People will just die, and that's all right. That's how he sounds. He's the worst. I hate him.
Yeah.
I've said this before. It is endlessly amusing to me to listen to English people do impressions of other English people. It's the best.
We sound like idiots.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's true though. I mean, my head of state, the prime minister, has the disease, so it's fine. They're just gonna. The government has just put him away in his special cave with his wife.
Wait.
Wife. Does Mark think that the Prime Minister of Canada is Tom Hanks?
Yeah, that's exactly what I actually think, Vana. That's not a joke I was making. That's a genuine thought I had.
Yeah.
Oh my
The thing is, it's true. Yeah, a little known fact: the shadow government
Tom
of
Hanks.
Canada is led by Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the rest of the democratic apparatus is false. Tom Hanks is a concubine of Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I need that
It
on
is
a
complicated,
shirt.
right?
He would be fine with being a concubine. He would be so cool with it.
Right? Yeah.
He would be like, "This is my greatest role."
Kind of sounds like Boris
Amazing.
Johnson. Weird.
It does.
That's very good. Yeah, exactly. King Hanks, Shadow Monarch of Canada.
I'd
Yeah.
take him. I'd take him over my Prime Minister any day.
Yeah, fair. Well, I'm glad that even if the country is crumbling around you, that you're keeping safe.
Keeping me.
And I saw that they closed Disneyland. Are you going to be okay?
I am, because I do have an annual pass, and the concern was that a couple of my friends were like, "Oh, our passes are going to expire during the quarantine." They're extending for all the amount of time the parks are closed. They're extending your annual pass automatically that amount of time. So it's going to be okay. And shoot, I had a friend there 2 days ago, and I was like, "What are you doing? What's happening here?" So I'm just glad they're shutting it down, because people, when they get Disney brain, they don't make good choices,
Yeah, I would be hard pressed to think of a place that would be like less safe to be when there's a pandemic going on.
I think like historically, like, they're crazy about cleaning just because it's like supposed to be the most beautiful place on earth, but it's like it's still thousands of people running around touching shit. Children.
Well, and it's like an airport, right? Like, airports are massively dangerous for this kind of thing because there's so many people from so many different places coming to one place and then touching each other and stuff and then leaving to go back to where they can't. It's not. Ugh. So it's
making out.
they closed it.
You get on the plane, you make out with who you're next to. You get off the plane, you make out with the counter person.
That rule
you go buy a
surprised
snack.
me. I didn't. Yeah. No one told me that that's a thing you had to do. And so you can imagine the first time I took a plane as an adult, it was very disorienting.
Right.
Awkward, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, please take your hand off my leg, sir. Regulations.
Sorry.
All right, then.
Is the seat taken? Do you want to make out? No? Okay.
Everybody has to kiss the captain on the way off the plane. Just once on the cheek, just to say thanks, and then you get off the. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to kiss the plane and call it a good boy.
Oh, I would. That's something I would do.
Wait a second. Are you implying that there are no girl planes?
No, women wouldn't be stupid enough to fly around in the air for hours at a time.
No, girl. Come on, the girl version. There's gender dimorphism. The boats are girls and planes are boys, and then they make vehicle babies, and then
that's how we got the movie Cars.
And trains are non-binary. That's how it works. Come on.
Oh,
I thought you knew about these things.
I learned something every day.
Yep, you can smash a bottle of champagne on the prow of a boat, but you gotta smooch the plane. That's the rule. That's how yeah.
Pretty sure the train is the most phallic.
How's the Midwest surviving these difficult times? How are you doing?
Midwest is okay. Actually, it's really funny. If you look up like a chart of places that have, the most confirmed cases of coronavirus, Indiana and Ohio are like, we have like 3. There's nothing out here, so obviously no one's gonna get that sick. So it's like Illinois has some, but I think that's mostly just because of like the population of Chicago. And we just have corn out here, man.
So the best way to avoid getting sick is to live somewhere where no one is.
It is. Yeah. We're doing okay out here, I think. But yeah, I think we're mostly avoiding everything, which is
drop this link about Ohio health officials estimate 100,000 people in the state have coronavirus. Just so that you are aware.
Oh my goodness. That's actually
I'm imagining one of those
pretty
Pokemon
scary.
animation, those Pokemon evolution animations where djWheat is evolving into Dr. Wheat.
Yeah.
It's the same, but you have one of those big reflective dishes and a lab coat on now.
I
Like
did
Dr.
read an
Mario.
article about how like more people have it than they think, but just because it's such a mild thing, people are like, yeah, whatever, I'm not
Yeah.
going to go get tested. When it's like, oh, you do actually have the virus, and it's like it presents itself as a cold. So,
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is that like there is a degree of like stoicism that prevents people from going and getting checked out. Where they're like, bah, I'm fine, it's fine, I'm okay,
Right.
and you're like, no, you're dying, so
Yep.
maybe you want to go check that out.
Yep.
It's the
Yeah.
fever.
Yeah.
The fever is the thing to worry about.
Yeah.
You got the fever, try to get tested.
What I'm wondering is, how are the people at WebMD doing right now? You think they're okay? You
Loving
think they're
life?
doing all right? They must be.
Oh, I think
they must be
think
very
stocks,
busy right now.
Stocks are up right now at WebMD, and they're like, yes, finally, everything that we've been telling people is finally coming true, and everything that they look up means that they are gonna die. This is great. We're having a great time. They're like celebrating with the office at like they're having cake with little virus decorations on it. They're having a good
Imagine
time.
peanut butter jelly time and just the dance that Banana does, and that's like everyone at WebMD.
Yep.
Yep, that's everyone.
I haven't thought about that dancing banana in a long time. I wonder how he's
I
doing.
think about him every day.
Yes, Vana. Yes.
Please go. Please go. Please go.
Wait.
Yeah. Well, this is why we need to replace humanity with a species of perfect robot people, and then no one has to ever get sick again.
Yep.
So let's get started on that. It's only going to take 1,000 years and some spaceships. But yeah, we have a role-playing game to play, so let's do that. Mark, have you made your decision? Have you decided? Because
Keep
you know
the
that's
intro
where we
going.
must
Keep the intro
begin.
going. No, ask Vana
No,
more weird
please.
stuff. Talk to Wheat about
Wait.
something.
Why am I the weird one?
Please, Vana, don't try and pretend that you're not.
Jeez.
I'm just saying you need to kiss the plane. Not weird.
Thank you.
Not
I didn't
weird.
need to explain that.
That plane is a good boy.
Still here for it. Still here for that. I love it. I wish you know what? When you exited the plane, there was like a little place you could tap, like high five the plane, be like, good job, plane. Thanks for
That
getting
would
us here
be-
safely.
That would be ground zero for what's going on right now.
I'm
I
assuming
did- I
Elspeth,
was-
that you personify everything, by the way. Like, everything in your house has, like, a name, and it's like, if you have, like, an appliance, it's like, oh, they did such a good job, and stuff like that. We do that with our Roomba.
I have a washer and dryer that whenever they're done with their spin cycle, they're like dee 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 dee, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, as I thought. Yeah.
I like
It's
call her
true.
down in
My
the basement,
dryer-
like, thanks a ton.
That's
My
very
dryer
Midwest,
Does sing a little,
Elspeth.
does sing a little, it sings
That
a little
is.
song. And I think if your dryer or your washing machine sings a song and you don't come up with lyrics for that song, you have
Yes.
failed your dryer.
It actually makes me
you
a little
have to.
emotional sometimes. I'm just like, oh, thank you for singing when you're done with my laundry.
Oh my
Also,
God,
Mark,
Elspeth
don't
is
think
like
that your ploy worked, Mark. we're still gonna do a show. You still have to
What are you
come up
talking
with a
about?
decision.
Elspeth is
I want to
like
hear more about Elspeth's dryer song.
Yeah.
Elspeth's like the Snow White of like home appliances, and I'm here
Yes.
for it.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
The problem,
Snow White of everything.
Yeah,
actually,
or
now
that.
that I
Yeah.
think about it, I was gonna say that if we look at this cast, the problem is that everybody is a secondary character in an anime with no protagonist, because Weed is the one that takes everything too seriously and is the stern guy with the glasses that are white all the time, right? Elspeth is just the super supportive, innocent character who's just like, yeah, whatever you say, boss.
Yeah.
Vana is the weird character. You can't tell if they're actually a good guy or not, and like 99% likely to spend season like 3 betraying the party.
Mhm.
Mark is just the Sailor Moon that just cries all the time and is confused, and then we just have no protagonist.
Wrong.
There's just
wrong.
second tier
I'll take
characters
it,
from an
I'll take
anime
it,
with
dude.
no main character.
Yeah, no, I'll take it.
Adam, were you referring to our characters or were you referring to like our characters? Like,
Yeah, you as people. Yes, we haven't begun the role playing part, so I'm talking to you, Vanna.
Adam,
Okay.
I think maybe that's the name of the anime. Where's my protagonist?
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like
where's
that.
our protagonist?
Right? I think you actually are onto something here.
mhm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
How about party in search of protagonist?
Yeah. Yeah. We got to do it
Nice.
before nobody cares about isekai anymore. So get on it.
I don't understand that reference.
Yeah.
I get
Can
it.
I
Mark
just
is
say
the
also-
only one who got it, huh?
I got that really hard, and it really made me laugh.
That was just for Mark. Where are the
Yeah.
DBZ references? This is bullshit.
What? 9,000. There you go. I love it. I fucking love DBZ, dude.
I saw some fan art of Goku and Frieza on a date the other day, and I really, really liked it. They were just having a nice cup of coffee. And Frieza was like this and like blushing.
Well, it's very kind of everyone to have added another 5 or 6 minutes of bullshit, but Mark, it's time. So
Roll 20 is
when
not
we-
working either. Like I'm.
It
oh,
is.
you can't get it to go. Let me make a roll.
Oh, no.
I've been having the same
might just-
problems.
It might just be that you're not able to. Okay, I got it. Mine worked. Is it just you, Marcus? Are you not able to?
I don't know. I
even
mean,
see
they
you logged
did
in, that's
tweet.
fine.
I can't
Oh,
either. Mine is
they're
super
investigating.
bored.
We are investigating issues. That's what Roll 20 said.
So
many
like
people
where the
are at home
icons are,
playing
like where it
D&D.
says collection and jukebox and journal, all I see are Q, N, U, L, and Y.
Ah, interesting.
Those
Okay,
are
so the
like
roll 20
just
servers
like-
They weren't
having a rough time.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
Well,
super bored.
I'm in and I can roll. So if you need to like roll anything or whatever, we have the feed of the stream up. I can roll for you or as you, and we can go.
So
from
you
there
can't lie
if
about
we
the
need
rolls?
to, but yeah, exactly. I never do. I roll in the open, even if I don't want to.
I'm Adam, and
yeah,
I've
so-
never lied once in my whole life.
Vanna,
I'm the teller of truths.
Holy crap,
Anna,
dude.
you
Are
were
there
a-
two Adams in this call right now? Like, what is happening?
Anna, you are a valued member of this cast. I respect you as a person, and I look forward every week to playing this game with you.
Oh, I see. Oh, I
Man,
see.
I feel
Okay.
like today's accidentally become
Okay.
shit on Vanna Day. I didn't mean it.
No.
to be.
Every fucking
Well, go-
day is shit on Vanna Day. Trust me. I live this
I got
life.
your back, Vanna. I got your back.
What goes around
Thank
comes
you, Marcus.
around. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so don't worry
I'm
if you
being
need to roll
threatened.
stuff. I'll roll it for you, and it should be able to go. But yeah, I actually think that the reason that the Roll20 servers are having a rough time right now is because everyone is signing up for it all of a sudden, because
Mhm.
all across the world, role playing game groups are staying away from one another. So
Mhm.
Good thing,
thankfully,
though. Good job, everyone.
right?
People playing.
So so I'm good. I'm logged in. If you refresh, it should grab it. But if not, just let me know and I'll roll for you.
Okay.
So Autumn, let's just fade right back in on where we left off. But do we want to recap first? I think it was a short episode, but I did record a recap, so we might as well use it. JP, would you like to roll the recap for us? Previously on Far Verona, Martin has returned to the group, having tracked them to the sporting goods store where we've been spending much of our recent time. When he receives no welcome at the front door, he heads around back to investigate. Little does he know, Johnny awaits his arrival, hidden in a dumpster. An ambush then, as Johnny leaps to restrain Martin. The two fight, but Haley arrives to end things, pointing the stolen pistol she has at Martin's head. Autumn, in an uncharacteristically scary move, immobilizes Martin's senses and movement, inflicting a psionic version of locked-in syndrome. She probes the newly arrived synth and learns he has an implant that may be in communication with someone. She learns, too, that this is not the Martin they lost on Yakia. Meanwhile, as Martin is being examined, Yasna and Haley have a brief clash over what to do with the prisoner. Yasna, a former killer of synths, tries to convince Haley that mercy is the way forward. Autumn glimpses an uncertain future and begins the surgery that will either kill Martin, retrieve the communications implant, or both.
Or
All
both.
right. So yeah, we'll fade right in on the basement of the sporting goods store. The lights down here are that kind of like emergency lighting, like bunker style. So everything's very very hard shadows, very bright light or dark shadows. And in the center of the room, there is a bed that has been put here. There's some various medical equipment around. Martin, quote unquote, is being monitored, and then standing next to his body, scalpel in hand, we see Autumn. And Autumn, you stand at a decision point about what to do with Martin here. Now, no one else is around, and as we mentioned in the last episode, basically, yeah, whatever happens here, only Hugh would know, and only then if he thought to look to see what happened. You literally have this sentient entity's life in your hands. If you perform this surgery, you can disable the communications device, but that will kill Martin. You can leave it and sew him back up, and he'll recover, at least physically. So, Autumn, what do you want to do?
When you say disable it, does that mean like recover it so that we can analyze it?
Yeah. It's basically it's all or nothing in one way or the other. So it's either you get it, which will kill this synth and give you the device, and it will give you the device in the sense that like you'll have time to examine it. It will be removed without any damage to the device itself. You might even be able to buy some time to like look at it and examine it before it shuts off or whatever, right? Like you can sustain its activation and maybe track wherever it's sending info to, right? If you do that, you get the thing and you have access to it in some meaningful ways, but it means Martin will die. Or you can leave it, not fiddle with it anymore, sew him back up, and he will physically recover from the surgery. But we'll continue transmitting whatever it is that he's transmitting.
And he's currently in Palimpsest syndrome as well.
Well, I think he's in some sort of emergency, like high activation mode that Christine was also in initially. But you can't track it to Palimpsest syndrome necessarily. But yeah, he's shut down. You've got him totally locked in.
Going to keep him alive.
Okay. All right.
It was I was so torn on this. I literally rolled the dice because
what does this look like? What does this look like for Autumn? Right? Like, do we see a moment where she makes that decision? Is it not even a struggle for her? Like because I know for Mark, and very intentionally from a director stance, I wanted to put you in a position where you had to make a hard decision about your character, but that doesn't mean it was hard for her. So what is this like for Autumn? Right?
I think that there is an element of difficulty because there is the weight of the unknown. The thing with being a precog is I think that Autumn is kind of tuned into the idea of like, whatever decision I make, there will be outcomes from this that I can't anticipate because things are always changing. Like I kind of see precogs always having this, everything we do does have an impact on things kind of like idea because of their training.
It would be massively frustrating to be both a precog and a doctor because sure, you save Martin today, but if you use your precognition, you're going to see thousands of timelines, a myriad of timelines that lead to him dying anyway. Like it would be so hard to fight off that like entropy, right? Because eventually everybody you heal will die.
Yeah, but I think what they try to teach is that it's the decision making of you. It's the decision making of the doctor. Like she would be trained to do everything she could to try and keep people alive so that they can live as long as they can. And I think it's that knowledge of like she's about to like maybe make the cut and actually like, you know, commit to killing him when it's that recognition that this isn't the same Martin and that this Martin maybe didn't have any choice in what's happened to it. And that's kind of what stops her hand and is like, no, I can't just kill this guy. He's not done anything on purpose to harm us. And that's the difference.
Okay, so we see you. What does that look like?
Vana.
What's the physical manifestation of that? Like there would be, and this is the thing where we have the advantage of getting to see inside Vanna's head or inside Autumn's head. But you put this. Do we see like put the scalpel down? Is there like what's the moment where you're like, no, this is a person. He's alive.
I think
Sorry,
it's
Van, I was
just
thinking about how angry you're going to be when you find out.
yeah. I think it's just going to be that it's just seeing him as a person. I think it's just like when she steps away from the objective and just sees a person, which to her, like, although she was trained like sense to sense, it's like having spent time around the others, it's like seeing this person who's obviously unconscious. It's just like,
helpless.
No, I can't. Yeah, helpless. Yeah. And I think that's the point where she just is like, okay, and then starts the tools of patching up.
Okay, now walk me through the recovery here, because you're currently expending some part of your conscious brain to essentially hold his consciousness underwater, right? You're like, we need you to be shut down. Do you also let that go and like let him wake up, or are you still maintaining the paralysis?
No, I'm guessing like would I have enough like drugs to like basically keep his consciousness out while I put him under with actual chemicals, like actual medications?
I don't think that you have medication here on hand to keep somebody in a coma. No.
Okay, in that case, I'd probably just keep I'd keep the psychic link going for now, because I still worry about the actions of him waking up.
All right.
So
okay.
keep him
let
down
me,
as long as I can.
Yeah, let me know when you want to let go of that. And for the time, as long as that's going on, some part of you is connected to Martin's like biological network and is keeping it suppressed. So you're going to be kind of absent-minded or elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing like I probably wouldn't be able to use my biosonics while this is going on. Like I just won't be able to use them because I'm committing the effort.
Yeah, I figured the analogy here is it's a bit like having a spell being concentrated on. Like you can't do another thing, and you're part of your brain. It's like you have to constantly be singing a song in the back of your head while you're doing other things because your brain is committed that.
Very close to passing out again, so I'm not going to do that anyway.
I just assume that's always true. Okay. All right. So we see an exhausted Autumn downstairs make the decision to spare Martin's life, and we crossfade with the room above. So we cut to the upstairs, which Hugh, I think last we had seen, he was like, I'm gonna tidy this up. Johnny, I think you had volunteered to give Hugh a hand with that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the two of you are in the main room. I think Hadil probably is like sort of helping, but mostly focusing on on security, right? Because we've been here a while and bad people keep showing up to kill all of you. So Hadil's on high alert. And so yeah, Hugh, I think we fade into to Hugh and Johnny, and Hugh looks over to you. Johnny is like, hey, can you pass me those coats? There's some coats that got knocked on the floor.
Oh, yeah, sure. All of them?
Yeah, so and he just puts his arms out like we gotta put him on this rack. So give him to me and I'll take him over there and do that.
Okay. And Johnny just
whoop.
So
you bundle him up and walk over there, and so he says, yeah, come over and help me hang these up. And so the two of you head over to one of the racks and start putting away the jackets that got knocked over in the previous battle. And Hugh looks over at you kind of as you're finishing up this little task, and he says, so what now? It sounds like your friends want to get off the planet, but you just got here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I like it here. I think it's pretty friendly, but I think we might be hunted. Maybe that's the right word.
And he nods. He says, "Now that's the risk of having a place like this. You see people come and go. Some of them bring trouble along with them. Haven't had this much trouble in a while, though. Not that it's your fault. Just, well, might have to move the lab after all this, I think."
Move the lab? Where would you move?
He shrugs. He says, I have friends, people who might be able to help relocate." And an idea occurs to him mid-sentence, and he kind of furrows his brow, and he says, "Johnny, can you finish this? I got to make a call." And he hands you the rest of these big bulky winter coats.
Sure. Yeah. No sweat, bud.
And yeah, very quickly muttering to himself, he goes back into the office.
So what is Johnny supposed to do with these coats exactly?
I don't know, put them away, hang them up,
Okay.
tidy up the place. Yeah, how many
All
just
right,
gave him to because he was
he
like,
begins tidying up things. He doesn't know like where these coats are going, so he just starts hanging them in random spots.
yeah,
So there are just coats like all
exactly.
over the room now.
Good. Johnny was not built for this. You're not a retail robot.
He's not. No.
Yeah,
So his
fair.
organization skills are lacking. So he's just like there's like some hook that's for maybe a plant and he hangs a coat on it and then he puts a coat on a chair and then he puts a coat on like near the curtains and just, coats everywhere.
Yeah, Hadil notices, but just shrugs. Like, all right. She doesn't say anything to stop you. She just watches you do this. Yeah. Okay, so
All right, that looks real good.
Yeah, you take care of tidying up, and we I think we follow Hugh back into his office. And in the office, Peanut is sitting at Hugh's desk on the phone, trying to sell these cars that you have, as he promised to do. He's like, so as Hugh walks in, we hear Peanut saying like, "Oh, come on, man, don't hang up on." Ah, shit. And he like puts the phone down and looks up at Hugh kind of apologetically. And then Hugh's like, move, and like gestures to him to get out of the chair. Now, who's keeping an eye on Peanut and Cowden? Because you have two named prisoners, and then one other guy who's just in the background of every shot for some reason. But yeah, with Diocles and Peanut, like, how are you managing these two? What are you doing with them? Because last we saw they were tied to a chair, and then Peanut had something to do. So, are you just leaving them that way? Have you let them go? Like, what's the current situation here? I'm asking mostly Yasna and Haley, I think, because they were the most concerned about the prisoners.
Yeah. They were in like the office, right?
Yep.
So, maybe we've moved them into the storefront.
I mean, if Peanut's in the office or whatever making calls, I think like
Mhm.
Haley would be monitoring that.
Yeah. Okay. So Haley, you're
Someone's
Peanut's security now, making sure he doesn't try to run.
Yeah. Well, make sure he's not calling for like backup.
Peanut's legit now. Peanut's a good boy.
Is there is he? He's a dumb boy. Can she like tap into the phone to make sure she hears both sides of the conversation?
I imagine that there's like another. I was gonna say there's another line, but that's like weirdly old fashioned. There's no lines at all.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. I think probably you could, if you have a communicator at hand, you could just make Peanut conference call you in and then call from there.
Okay.
He wouldn't say no. Yeah, so you've got your like hand over the phone. You're listening on another connection. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So he is like, to the best of his efforts, actually trying to make connections and to sell these vehicles for you. What about Diocles? Diocles Cowden is actually like a decently legitimate businessman, at least on the surface. He was supposed to come here and negotiate with you before you killed all his friends. Is he just tied to a chair, or have you hidden him in a closet somewhere? Is he just
there's him and like a goon.
Yeah.
And then and then there is a third guy, or the goon is the one
there's Peanut, there's Diocles, and there's the third unnamed goon.
Right. But the actual tied up are Diocles and the jobber. The red shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Peanut is untied, but being guarded by Haley and is on the phone trying to make those connections.
I mean, would he try to have any sort of conversation? Like, would he just be sitting there in silence? Like,
if you look
given
over
that, like,
at Diocles,
because he's like axed from his organization, like
most of what he's doing right now is being deep in thought about how he's going to save his own ass, right? Like, if you look over at him, he's got a concerned look on his face, and he's clearly thinking real hard. This is a man who is making plans, or at least trying to. You can see him kind of working through, like, how the hell am I going to get out of this?
I think if I were to see that, I think maybe Yasna would just suddenly blurt out like, we are not bad people.
I think like Peanut looks over at you like, okay. And Diocles, he realizes you're talking to him and he kind of looks up and quirks an eyebrow as if like, really?
I are you worried for your life?
Should I be?
I just saw the look on your face and I feel like I've seen it before.
My former employer sent me here to make a deal with someone engaged in a criminal organization, a criminal enterprise. And when I arrived, I realized that it was not the criminal enterprise we expected. Uh, I don't think that your business and our business, my former business, overlap anymore. You're trying to leave, Kamina, right? So aside from some unfortunate casualties, and he kind of looks over at Peanut like, sorry, buddy. I looks back at you. I don't see any reason that I should fear for my life. Killing me would gain you no advantage.
I just shrug and was like, "Is he all right? We just
I only
wanted to
I
leave
only wish I
and
had the yeah. So the two of you kind of stumble over each other and he scowls and he shakes his head and he says, I could have liked to have foreseen this. If we could have had a conversation instead of a gunfight, I wouldn't be in this position. But you say you're not bad people, so what can I do?" He kind of shrugs like, I recognize that I'm sort of helpless right now and I'm at your mercy.
maybe we remember it differently, but we tried to have a conversation. It is your boss who decided that was not good enough.
And he nods. Yes, yeah, secondary to my surviving this is concerns about my immediate and, well, let's just say I might be leaving Kabina soon as well, thanks to this whole fiasco.
Uh maybe just Yasna says like well, we get off of this planet and you are free to live your life. The only reason you are tied to this chair is because I cannot have you going and endangering us any further.
He nods slowly and he says, despite our getting off on the wrong foot, I, I may still be able to help you. I do have some connections here, and, well, if my former employer hasn't sent out the word, I might be able to help you get out of here. He kind of looks down at the cables that he's tied to the chair with, like, maybe you help me, I help you.
Well, before I give you this chance, help can come in many forms, whether that is money or a ride. Uh, so, what kind of help do you think you might be able to offer?
I I have some contacts in the dock that I could reach out to. Help cover your trail if you can find a way off this planet. I don't own any ships. If I did, I'd be using them to get out of here myself. But I might be able to find you passage, or at the very least, grease the right palms to make sure that your exit is expedient and discreet.
And what would you need to do besides, of course, being untied from the chair?
I would need access to the network. I need to make some calls, send some messages.
Maybe like I look over at Haley and I'm like trying to get a sense of what Peanut is in his progress, if any, you know.
Yeah, and Peanut is having another one of those like, oh, come on, man, conversations. Like, I know you already got a car, but I got two, and they're in great shape, and we just need to sell them real quick, and he's just sweating, and Haley's standing behind him, and he knows Haley's standing behind him, so that's making him nervous. He's not doing great so far.
But
Haley would
Haley's
probably
listening
just
to our
yeah, Haley
conversation,
would probably
right?
just
Yeah.
make eye contact with you and just be like
So well, our priority is to get off of this planet, and we made the same offer to your boss, and I would extend that offer to you. What we have done here, which was really only a means to leave, it's yours. And of course, you, nothing will happen, and you will be free, and your family will be safe. But that might be something. However, give I just you can understand that I cannot let you do this alone. So one of us will need to monitor your contact or usage of the network.
And he nods, says, something I'm very used to, being surveilled in that way. I'm amenable. Easier to do if I wasn't tied to a chair. So maybe let's start there.
Is Hideo with us?
No, she's in the other room with Johnny.
Okay. And what is he tied? Is he like hog tied? And
I figured he's just like his wrists are
I'm not
tied to the
hog-tied, but-
arms.
okay,
Yeah,
he's
tied
like
to the
feet
arms of the chair, and
tied
probably
okay.
his probably just tied by the wrists. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Just by
gonna
like some spare electrical cable or something.
I'm gonna untie him.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you untie his wrists, and he stands up, and he says, no, that's better. Now we can see eye to eye and discuss just how we can get you off this planet. But he makes a face. He says, it's going to take resources, money. Do you have any?
We have some cards.
You look over at Peanut, and Peanut's just like, I'm working on it.
I guess I've never asked you for anything.
Yeah,
but,
well,
like,
and so
if
that's a great moment because you're like it occurs to you like, I wonder if Hugh could help us, and then Hugh comes in the door into the office, right? So Hugh comes in, and he's looking like he's on a mission, right? He's got a face like, I have something I have to do. Like he's made a decision and he's going through with it before he changes his mind. So he comes in and he looks at Peanut and he's like, get up. And Peanut's like, and Peanut looks at you, Haley, like, am I allowed?
I think if Yasna's facilitating it, then Haley wouldn't get in the way.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing,
so
Haley.
she'd be like,
you can
I'm what?
Yeah. assume from here until we learn otherwise. Assume that Peanut is your dog. Like he just looks at you for like, can I breathe? Am I allowed to eat? Like he whines and paws at the door and looks at Haley if he has to go out to the bathroom. So yeah, he as soon as Hugh says, "Get up, I need the comms," he looks at you, Haley, like, is that okay?
Yeah, get up. Get out of the way. You're not doing anything
Okay, so-
effective.
Yeah. He gets up and he just comes and stands near you and just kind of waits to be given orders. Hugh comes over, he sits down, he picks up the comm unit, and he looks over at you, Yasna, and he holds the phone and he says, I need to make a couple of calls. Can we? He kind of makes a like clear out the office gesture.
Well, what was Hugh doing then? Like,
He was in the other room with Johnny, and he just came in, told Peanut to get up, and then like grabbed the phone, and then was like, "Can everybody I just need some privacy to make these calls."
Okay, so
Wait. Hugh's trying to use the phone?
Yeah, Hugh is basically telling
Oh,
everybody
okay.
like, I need to make some calls. Everybody get out for a second.
oh, my bad. Gotcha. I thought you
Yeah.
meant Dial was
No.
saying that.
Is there a way that like maybe Haley's still dialed in on her comms
Yes,
and she just
100%.
doesn't mention anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you hadn't mentioned it, I was gonna mention it. So if you like, Hugh hasn't noticed that you are connected to the phone through your own comms. And so even if you leave the room, you're gonna get to hear both sides of whatever conversation he's
Okay.
about to have.
Okay, then
Oh
let's go to
yeah,
the
no
source.
problem. Let's leave, Yasna.
I know exactly what is going on. And
We're an actress, man.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
but remember,
playing
she's
it
a
up
ha-
to
like
the stage. I'm playing
Yeah.
it up to the
She's
stage.
a
You have to be
hammy-
big.
Stage
You have to be
whispering.
big
She's a
in
hammy
theater.
child actress. Yeah.
Over the top. The audience, it has to be obvious from way back in the nosebleeds what I'm doing and saying.
I like that Haley has like a little bit of Liza Minnelli in there. Like,
probably a lot of
it. Yeah,
that was just
right?
me. It's just
Well,
Vana has
that's
a
the
lot
thing,
of.
is like Haley is built off of like thousands of years of human theater programming. So yeah, there's probably more than a little bit of that like drama action in there. So yeah, all right. So yeah, if you all leave the room, Peanut will do whatever Haley says, Diocles will do whatever Yasna says, and everybody goes out into the other room. But Haley, you can overhear Hugh's conversation. So while we don't necessarily see Hugh doing this, we hear the call. So on the other side, once you leave the room, you hear Hugh pick up and insert a comm ID, right? A good. And it connects, and there's a voice on the other side, which means he's calling someone like local. It's in system comms, because otherwise it wouldn't be live. He'd have to record a message. So he calls a number, and the number picks up, and Hugh says, what does he say? He says, it's a lovely day, don't you think? And the person on the other side says, bit cold for me. And then there's a pause. And Hugh says, it's Plaskett. Sorry. I told you I never call, but I have some friends. We need to help them. And the voice on the other side, which is clearly being modulated or modified in some way, the voice on the other side says, it's going to cost us, you know. And Hugh says, I know, but it's the last time. And the voice on the other side says, so what do you need? Credits? And Hugh replies with, no, easiest to turn into something else. There's a pause. The voice says, we can reallocate some, send it your way. What are you going to use it for? And there's another pause, and you can hear Hugh. And I think you can hear him. He sighs, like he realizes he's making a bad decision, right? There's this tone of regret in his voice. And he says, just transfer them. Don't worry about what I'm using them for. And then the voice on the other side says, fine. Don't call us again, Plaskett. And he says, I don't intend to. And before he even gets to finish the sentence, the person on the other end hangs up. And then I think because you're still connected to the line, you hear Hugh sigh again and then say, well, I guess that's that. And then he hangs up. And so while that's happening in the other room, so Haley, you're listening intently. In the other room, Johnny, you see Yasna and Diocles and Peanut and Haley come in. And then Haley kind of goes off somewhere to like listen. And I think while that's happening, Autumn, maybe you come up from the basement.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. All right. So right now, he's Martin is recovering, and you got your brain suppressing him. So Johnny and Yasna and Haley, but you're on the phone, Haley. You see Autumn come back up from the basement.
Probably like taking off like gloves and stuff like that, and just smoothing down her outfit. I take a look at everybody, mainly at Yasna and Johnny, I think.
I imagine everyone's staring at you.
Yeah. I kind of look around for a moment. Uh, I couldn't remove the device without killing Martin. So he's downstairs. I've kept him conscious. Well, not conscious, but suppressed now. I
But
couldn't do
he's
it.
alive?
I can. He's. We need to leave. Hugh probably should leave. But and I think she's just quite. Yeah, there's. She's looking down. I don't think she'd look anybody in the eye. Like she's kind of looking down at the floor, and just kind of like nods her head, like, yeah, he's alive. I don't know if he'll recover from the whatever is happening with his memories or his brain, but he should recover. And then I probably just go find a chair to sit down in for a second, for a hot minute.
Okay.
So just to be clear, the implant is still in Martin?
Yes, it's still in him. It's whoever put it there is extremely skilled. It's tied into his nervous system, into his respiratory system. Like, I think that for the first time she looks up at Yasna, and I look dead into Yasna's eyes, and there is I probably I could have taken it, and I don't think any of you would have known if I just said that, there were complications. Thought about it. How shitty is that, Yasna? I thought about it. I thought for a second that maybe the greater good would be taking it out and giving him some peace, maybe. But I just couldn't. It's not what I was taught. It's not what I meant to do. I've probably done something really stupid and put us all at risk, but I couldn't do it. So we need to leave. I can keep him unconscious for a while, but we need to leave as soon as we can and hope that whoever sent him, we can lose him.
All right. Well, I trust you.
Thanks, Johnny.
Well, what do we do with him? Just leave him here?
Might be for the best. He's
Jeez.
looking at his systems. It's clear that he's really strong. Strong, and his nervous system is built to be very capable. I think it's too dangerous we might want to consider things like tying him down or tying him up or something. I would have anesthetized him or put him under with some medication, but we don't have any, so.
Autumn, it will be okay. We should tell Hugh.
Yeah.
And
he's the one who's. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll go over and I'll, knock on the door to the office where.
Okay. Yeah. So you're
we
walking
think
over there,
Hugh
and it's coming to the end of the conversation, right? As Yasna goes over, and so Haley, you hear him sigh and be like, "Well, I guess that's that." And then Yasna knocks on the door. Hugh comes over to the office door. He looks pale, but he still has that resigned look on his face. Like he's like, "Okay, we're gonna do the thing. The decision has been made. I'm gonna go through with it, right?" And so he opens the door, and I think he's even like, mopping his brow a little. And he looks up and he says, "Well, I called in a couple of favors, and we're going to have some credits to work with, enough probably to buy at least the four of you passage off Cabina. Coming out of the rainy day fund. We're gonna go and have to pick it up. It's gonna be in an encrypted.
Four of us?
And he looks, and he says, I think you're going to have to leave Martin and Christine with me. And I was hoping," and he looks over at Hadil, and Hadil just nods slightly. He says, I was hoping that Hadil would stay behind, help me with some of my work. And it looks like you suddenly realize the two of them have had a conversation about this already, because Hadil is like, yeah, like this is a good time to tell them.
I'm trying to think how Yasna would react to that, because actually
right?
I don't feel like I don't feel like that would phase Yasna. That like
Yeah.
it is right. Soldiers come and go, and Hadil has proven herself. Hugh has helped us out. You know, Hadil has no obligation to come with us. So I think almost from a a military commander perspective, like that sharp nod back to Hadil with no words is enough to convey all of what
Right.
I just said to her. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because it's like it's clear that Hadil has made this decision herself. And it might, I mean, maybe the thing that might get to Yasna is that Hadil didn't talk to you about it. Right. That she wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna stay here. That she had this conversation that nobody else got to be a part of, and they just made this decision.
I I think that's like fair, but I think Yasna's super aware that we have come in and fucked shit up for Hugh.
You kind of
Right?
have,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, and I think that realization set in like once Martin came back, right? When we saw Martin in the hood in the alley after the parade, like it was kind of that moment, like, oh, we're totally fucking this guy.
We've
So
led the hunters here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that that Yasna's perspective is that like that's the least we can do, and if he's going to help us out, then great. So the nod and maybe just thank you for everything you have done, and if you can help us get passage off, uh, maybe that is a debt that I will never be able to repay, but I know a deal can
And he
help
shakes
you.
he shakes his head slightly while you're saying like it's a debt that you can never pay, and he says, no. The debt is all mine. The repayment we deserve we owe you people. Well, don't worry about it. All right? I just want to take care of you and your friends. And Hadil has agreed to stay behind and help me relocate. And well, we'll deal with that trouble as it comes. So there's going to be a delivery. There's a drop point. It's in another district. I can't go and pick it up myself. I'm going to need you to go and retrieve it. And while you do, and he looks over at Autumn, I'm going to need your help. We need to wake up the sleeping children. We can't move them in this state.
She just nods. I can help you with that now.
So the elephant in the
me...
room is Dialki.
Diocles, yeah. And he's just kind of looking back and forth, watching this conversation. Yeah.
Right. Like we're getting money. So is it intended that we would still use him to get off? Or, I mean, he kind of sounds like we got
still
no
use
shit.
his help for sure.
You're getting funding from Hugh's friends and then funneling it through Diocles to some people he knows that should be able to get you off the planet.
Okay.
And hopefully maybe cover our tracks as well, maybe. Or at least give us some time. Buy us some time.
Well, and Diocles' a bit of Diocles' plan here is that your cover story is that you are fleeing the planet as criminals, not as synths, right? Where you like made the wrong enemies and had to run away, but not like you're illegal robot people.
Right. Well, if Autumn's gonna stay, if Autumn is going to stay, perhaps Hadil comes with us to pick up the package.
Whatever you think is safest.
It won't take me long to bring them out of stasis. So I can go with you, but I've got to admit I'm feeling pretty tired after today.
It is okay.
It's
We
up to
can
you,
go.
Yasna. All right. Okay.
I mean, I think we should leave a couple people here for when they do wake up. When you do wake them up, Autumn.
Well, Hugh and you will be with me, and it should be okay, right?
I mean, sometimes
Hugh
when
gives
you
you a
get
look like who knows.
sometimes when you get anxious, Autumn, you pass out.
I'll be
It's not your
fine.
fault. It's your weak human form. So maybe we just leave someone
I'll
a
be
little bit
okay.
more capable
I'm sure that
here.
there is. I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Okay, it's
It's more
agreed.
important that we get this
Hadil,
money.
you'll stay here.
All right. We can us three, we can go. Hadil,
Okay.
you stay.
All right.
Just in case.
So Hugh comes over and says he transfers from his personal columns to yours, Yasna, a like an address, some coordinates. They're actually slightly outside the like the city itself. It's like a waypoint. It's the first waypoint on a path leading out to the glacier. So it's definitely, you're gonna need to get out there by like take a cab or something to get out there. But or one of these cars you have now, I guess. But it's out on the outskirts of town near the glacier's edge. It'll probably take you like 4 or 5 hours to drive out there and then the same back. Yeah. So yeah,
Great.
Hugh gives you those coordinates and he says, I know it's a little far, but he looks over at Hidiel. We'll need to move while you're moving. You can't come back here. I'll send you the coordinates of where we end up, but by the time you get there, there's going to be a package waiting for you. It'll be a box, a plastic surface, metal on the inside, containing a computer core with some encrypted. Anyway, don't worry about it. You'll know it when you see it. So go there, pick it up, come back. He makes a face and he says, and we'll try to find somewhere to relocate to while you do that. He looks over at Autumn. I'll make sure you get back to your friends, and that with his help, and looks at Diocles, we'll get you off Kabina.
I just nod for now.
And so
Okay.
Dialki will stay? Or is gonna come with
Take
us?
him with you if you want.
Yeah, Diocles has no reason to leave because he's going to be making phone calls for you to try to arrange the transport, right?
Mm.
You're going to go get the money to pay for it, and then Autumn is going to help Hugh pack up the humans, basically.
And Hidiel will then help transport them, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, man, that seems like that'd be a really expensive cab. So maybe we
Yeah,
should
you do
just
have
take...
the two cars.
Two
Yeah, you have
cars.
the goon vehicles that you got.
I'll drive.
I mean, you're pretty good at it. We've seen in
Yeah.
the past that you're not bad. So these vehicles would be the equivalent of like
SUVs.
not. I mean, they're not like Diocles would be like a Range Rover, right? The one he showed up in.
Right.
But you have like a Range Rover and a Honda Civic, basically. But in future version. And these, I think Diocles is like a grav car, but the other one definitely has wheels.
Grav car's worth some monies if we can fucking sell it.
Yeah, right.
It's got
That
to
has
drop
had
a
lot of
little
success in that
sign
one.
and like stick it on the window and leave it out on the street.
For sale.
Yeah, for sale, phone number. Yeah.
One grav
One
car,
plane ticket, OBO.
mildly broken.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have
Yeah,
any
so do you wanna
skills
take-
in. Oh, sorry. I don't have any skills in driving. I just have skills in piloting. So would the grav car be piloting, or would that be driving?
It would be driving unless you were like flying it, which is not advised, but you can do it. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I shouldn't drive. My feet
Yasna
can't reach
should
the
probably drive.
pedals.
You can't read.
I mean,
Pedal.
I could attempt.
Oh, Johnny.
I mean,
Johnny can.
theoretically, all of you can operate a vehicle. It's just dangerous situations that will require rolls. So if you think that you can drive casual and you can get there and back without getting into any trouble, then by all means. But yeah.
Great. I do not want to drive.
Okay, Johnny, it sounds like you're
I
in the
literally
pilot
can't
seat.
reach the pedals.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, imagine it like like an SUV. It does have a lot of autopiloting, so you can just punch in the thing and let it go. But you need somebody in the driver's seat in case there's trouble. So Johnny, you jump in looking like a very out of date robot butler. Right, you're the chauffeur. Maybe there's a little hat you can put on, but yeah. Diocles doesn't drive his own vehicle either, right? Like he sits in the back. So yeah, Johnny, you jump in, Haley and Yasna as well. And then you just want to head that way. You just want to head out that way. Okay.
I put on my driving headscarf
Okay.
to protect
Thankfully,
my
it's not an
curls.
open top Range Rover.
You never know. Someone might roll down a window at any second.
It's like -20 outside.
You never know.
You never know. It's true. That's very true. Okay. All right. So you're just gonna just punch the coordinates in there and head out. Okay. All right. Cool. So we'll stick around here with Hugh, Autumn, and Hadil, and once they leave, Hugh turns to Hadil and asks her to start preparing to leave. Like he gives her a list of things like basically we can throw out everything here. I have to go downstairs with Autumn and we need to prep the situation. So if you can start clearing out the office, I'm gonna need my computer. There's a safe. He gives her the combination to the safe and tells her like just pack everything up. There should be some boxes back there you can use. And we're going to need to get ready to leave as soon as we can. And then turns back to you, Autumn, and says, come with me. And the two of you go to the elevator. Yeah.
As a quick thing, Adam, at the end of the last encounter when we were with Martin, I didn't make a check to regain strain. Can I do that now?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
It's just a discipline check with no difficulty dice, and any successes
right.
Strain.
Yeah. That's right.
It's just
and
normally you have to do it at the end.
You take a minute to breathe.
Yeah, it's normally at the end of every encounter, so I just wanted to do it because it is obviously relevant.
Hot damn.
So,
there you go. Cool. Okay.
Nice. Okay. That's the one good roll. Oh, there was actually
there's some purple in there. Roll that again.
Yeah.
The test roll from
well, the purples didn't come up with any failures, so should I just
yeah, that's true. And only successes matter on this roll anyway. So yeah, don't bother re-rolling. Okay. Yeah, so recover some of your strain. You take a minute, you get a chance to like calm yourself down, and you end up feeling a little bit better.
Cool.
And so you walk with Hugh into the elevator. And as you are descending down into the subterranean layer, he says, he looks at you and he says, tough day.
Yeah, just a little. I should let you know, the implant in Martin, I couldn't remove it without killing him. So that's something you should be aware of, Hugh. If you're going to move and you're going to take him with you, somebody did something to him and they sent him to find this place. Somebody who's, I don't know if it's just that they're after us or them or me or you. I don't know, but something's going on. And I couldn't just,
And he nods, and I think that the elevator is still sort of moving slowly down, and he puts a hand on, actually puts his hands on both your shoulders, right? And he like looks, makes sure you're making eye contact with them. And he says,
slowly looks up at him.
Yeah, he says, that feeling you're feeling right now, that panic closing in, the way your throat closes up, you feel your heart climbing up into your mouth. That's normal, Autumn. This is what we have to deal with. The difficulties of being a good person in a bad universe. And it's our fault it's like this. Our parents' fault and their parents before them. And we have a burden we need to work through. You understand? So you feel that sense of panic? That's good. That means you're on the right track. I know it's hard, but This is how we have to do it. And I want you to know before we go our separate ways that I'm proud of you. What you're doing for your friends. Not a lot of us
Thank-
would have done that.
And I think that it's the not a lot of us, and like the way that he's been speaking, she obviously can pick up on the hints. Thank you. I don't know if I deserve all of that, but thank you. And the same for you as well. I don't know who or what changed the way that you think about all this, or if even if there was something, I don't know, but you're right that it is a bad universe. I don't know if we're good people, but at least we're trying, I guess. And I'm gonna keep trying, and I hope you do too.
And he
Oh.
nods. And he says as the elevator sort of comes to a stop, he nods and he says, now, however we come out of this, it was a pleasure meeting you, cousin. And he smiles and he nods and he says, let's go and see what we can do for these two as the door slides open.
Yep.
And the two of you walk out into the room where you have Christine and Martin both being monitored by this equipment. And he looks at the two of them and then to you and says, whoever he was programmed to be, getting to be your friend or hunt you or whatever, we need to clear it. And Christine, if we're going to get her to move, she needs to be reset as well. Now, I only have a few more of these. And he walks over to a panel that you didn't notice even before. He walks over to a blank wall. He puts his hand up on a part of the wall and a light scans his palm. Yeah. And then the wall slides open. And underneath, you see a bunch of like obviously very either like pre-tech or at least TL5 like technology. You see a bunch of like weird, like complex looking. Yeah. And it's like fragile looking in that way that some of the pre-tech equipment you've seen before is fragile, where they're like, we can build this out of like nanoparticles. So it's way stronger than it looks. So you see a bunch of this stuff and he takes out a glass box, and in the glass box, there are 3 syringes. They're like auto syringes, right? With some kind of like gold, like particulate fluid in it. And he comes over and he holds the box and he says, these are emergency resets. You notice there's 2 missing. Originally was a box of 5. Emergency resets. You inject them. He points to his neck. Into the spinal column. Over the course of a few minutes, the machines inside will do their job. It resets a synthetic person to their original factory parameters. Whatever core programming they have, that's what's going to return. These 2... they should be safe. I'm pretty sure he's just a labor model and, well, she's a custom job, but I've seen her kind before. It'll reset them back to their original parameters, and I'll take care of them from there. I've had to do it before. But the third, and he looks at it, and he looks at you, I think you should take it with you. Just in case. It's important that we treat the synthetics the way we do humans, but some of them we made bad. Some of them have accumulated their badness over time and can be a threat to themselves and to others. And after what happened today with Martin there, I feel I can trust you with this. So take one, and I'll set about using the other 2.
Yes, let me show you where the implant on Martin is, just in case you can do something about it in the future. And then I'll literally show him like diagnostics of like, it's here, but it's tied into these systems. I couldn't, she basically like gives him a rundown of what she learned about it and stuff like that. And then, I will take the fucking TL5 synth safe mode.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a USB boot drive where you can format C and boot them from the drive. Yeah,
that's the name now.
Make a note.
Drive or the boot.
Yeah, make a note that you have that. Okay. And yeah, he comes over and with your help sort of turns Christine over onto her side. And when she does, some kind of automatic, like an autonomic system makes her body like curl up in the fetal position when she gets turned on her side.
Mhm.
And he puts her hands, like he's treating her very gently, right? He like brushes her hair away from her neck and he finds the
Mhm.
spot between two of her vertebrae and he pushes the plunger in, and you see the fluid kind of swirl away into her stream, into her system. There's some slight fluctuations of her bio signatures, but very quickly it's clear that her whatever she was dreaming about. And you watch this, and maybe this is the chilling bit, is you watch her brain activity going, like she's dreaming, right? It's flickering up and down. He puts the needle in, and a second later it just goes, just flattens out. And then you wait, and then it starts up again, but it's a very regular pattern, right? Instead,
Yeah.
she's gone into some diagnostic mode.
I
And
think
then he
like
turns
Autumn
to do the
watches
same to
this
Martin.
in a mixture of like awe and like there's a mixture of like being kind of chilled, but also how like incredible this is as a thing. Like I think like she probably Autumn even comments something just like, "Wow, I mean, so they can just go back to how they were, forget all the terrible things that have happened to them and all the awful things that they've seen or done or experienced, just like they used to be."
And
Like
he
there's
nods and
like
he says,
an admiration almost.
"Yeah." And he says, "We used to have a lot more of these. The Emperor, the new one, is upholding laws to keep them illegal. You can see why. It wouldn't be too hard for, say, Trillion to find a way to use these on humans. The basic protocols are the same. We used to use them to prevent palimpsest syndrome. Repurposing a synth, a lot better than having to retire them, but can't make any more, so use them sparingly. We're going to give Christine and Martin a second chance."
What happened to the house? We were always told that they were planning the secret war that they wanted to take over. Everyone just believed Crux, but I mean, I've seen the things they've said about Landra, about my parents. I just can't believe in any of this anymore, any of them. The days that I've spent with Yasna and Haley and even Johnny, they've got the capacity to do so much good in the world, just as like we do. I just don't know what else we can do for them.
And he sighs and he says, "I've learned that repentance isn't an act, it's a dedication. I'm going to be spending the rest of my life, natural or otherwise, making up for the crimes of my family. Maybe we all should. I don't know. We made them better than us, and that made the other houses nervous. Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe there's enough of them out there somewhere. Maybe this is the beginning of the end for humanity. I don't know. I guess I don't care anymore. I just want to make sure we can end as much of their suffering as possible. And sometimes," and he glances down at the empty canister in his hand. He says, "Sometimes oblivion is the only gift we have left. These two are going to have a rough go of it, but I think Hadil and I can help."
I think you can. And yeah, I'll do my best too. She just nods and then helps him finish up.
Yeah, and so the two of you sort of prep Christine and Martin to wake up, and you start the process of like basically them rebooting. And so we watch on the screens the diagnostics start to kick in, all the bad sectors get wiped, and you're literally watching whatever programming they have, whatever life they had lived. You're watching it just get deleted. It's just disappearing as like essentially free space becomes available on their hard drive, and it's all measured through brain activity. And yeah, there's a brief feeling of like a, I almost describe it as like a hiccup. There's a point where your connection to Martin's brain kind of like stutters a bit. You get a bit of like lag in that connection as his system reboots, right? And then you grab hold of it again. But you feel like you could let it go too. Like he's now under because of what his body is doing. So it kind of frees you up from that.
Once Hugh kind of gives me the all clear, I'll let go of that connection.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I think we'll cut there. The two of you, we fade out on that. We'll go and take our break here. And then when we come back, Johnny, Yasna, and Haley are taking a car ride out into the wilderness.
Oh God!
So we'll get to see that. Pick up a big crate full of money, and we'll see how that goes. So stick around. We'll be right back with more of today's episode of Roleplay, Verona.